Yo, Breuer, Mike. Yeah, man, my recap for the first True Brew weekend, dude, so killer. I loved it. I was blown away. Like I said, I didn't think the hotel was going to be killer like that. I thought it was going to be low budge. I thought we were going to be in a Days Inn or, just something that wasn't that. So when my bro took me from Tampa, because I flew in the night before, when I got there on Friday, I was blown away. I showed up at the hotel. I forgot who I saw up front. I think I saw Thomas and his mom right away. They gave me this killer package, and it had like all these snacks in it, which I was just like, all right, I got to stay away from that bag or I'm going to be huge. But I was blown away by just the vibe right when I got there. And as you rolled in, they gave you your mimosa. Am I saying that right? Mimosa. It's a little champagne drink. I had like 2 of those. And then I got up to my room, and the room was killer. And there was another bag in there. Like Katie left this thing in there, and it was like gin and soap, which is always I guess that's a cool combination, gin and soap. But that was the thing that really stuck out for me, is I really loved just the hotel, and I loved the layout of the whole entire event. When I went down on Saturday morning, I had to drop the merch down there. I was like, all right, I'm going to get the merch down there early. And Katie and them were already down there like 10 a.m., just lining up everything, getting the tables all set up for the show and everything. And then me and Mike were next to each other. And Mike was setting up the podcast. And I got to say, once again, I was totally blown away on how Mike was setting that up. I was like, wow, he is dialing this in. The kid was getting all his gear together to film the show and do the live stream. And, Katie and them always deliver the goods, but this was one of those kind of things where I was really taken back by just the amount of moving parts that went into the whole event. And then, the show is killer. Doing the podcast live, I did not expect to be a part of that. Thank you for letting me co-host with you. That was super fun, man. I love, just so you guys all know, the way Jim does it. He's like, at 4:30, hey dude, will you co-host this thing with me? Do you want to do that? And I'm like, yeah. And that was just last minute, which I feel like that's the reason why it went well, is because we just talked about, I don't know, the Josh Blue stuff was super fun. I love him. And then Shaka and just everything. It was just such a great vibe. It was great doing a podcast in front of people too, man. I love doing stuff like that before doing stand-up. So I hope we get to do that again. And then the show is killer. I got to say, my favorite part though, Breuer, was when you answered the questions at the end of the night. I want to do more of that. That was killer. I love the kid that asked you, like, what advice do you give young comics? And you gave great advice. I could have done another half hour of that. I love the questions people were asking you. I thought that was super cool. And then for it to end on the roof, I mean, just so you guys know, you go up on this roof, there was a pool up there, and there was a killer bar, and then they wrote, True Brew in this lighting, and that was super cool. But then everyone was doing the silent disco, and they were into it. They were really into it. I got a couple people said, you weren't dancing. And I was just, you know what, man? Not that I wasn't into it, but I was just into watching. I was just taking it. I got to say, I was just taking it all in, because there was a ton of people dancing to Chumbawamba. Like, I get knocked down. And they were going nuts, but there was no music. So that was a trip to see that.
I get knocked down. I get up again. I get knocked down. I get up again. I get knocked down. This is how we do it.
And the way it was all done was super cool. And I loved how all you guys, I knew that was going to happen. Everyone ended up in the pool. I love that. So I can't wait till we do it again. Seriously, get me out there. Let's do this. Let's do it. I had so much fun. I want to do the podcast live again too. That was so fun. And it was great meeting everyone. If I had a chance to meet you, and thanks for coming up and saying hi, because that was super cool. All right. I can't wait to do it again, man. Let's get back out on the road.
Check out the Breuniverse every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. If you can't wait till then, sign up for Patreon and get it a day early, along with other exclusive content.